I've already finished part one, the historic parallel between Donald Trump, Mr. Tariff Man, and Herbert Hoover, the other man who supported tariffs, who was the president during the Great Depression. I talked about how Donald Trump was born on a 31 day and how Herbert Hoover was the 31st president of the United States. This video, we're going to focus on who is going to lead America's economic recovery from the coronavirus. It won't be the jackass in office or any Republican. It's going to be Franklin Roosevelt. He died in the year 1945. Donald is the 45th president of the United States. He's going to be replaced by the 46th president of the United States. Franklin Delano Roosevelt died in 1945. 1945 is a 19-year. The 19th Amendment gave women the right to vote. 1920, that was the year that Warren Harding won the election. In 2020, Biden's going to be dead. Warren's going to be the nominee. She's going to win the election, or she's going to take over for Biden in 2021 once he's dead. Either way, I am dead on, right on the money with the Franklin Delano Roosevelt tribute. Born on the 30th day of the year. We need a second New Deal to win and defeat economic Armageddon. Notice that 2008 was the year that America was last in economic contraction. FDR has gematria of 28. Elizabeth Warren's initials having gematria of 29. How about the year 1929 and the Black Tuesday? Elizabeth Ann Warren's gematria is the year 1929. This is how you know the woman with many plans is going to be the one that's going to lead a second New Deal in America once the blue wave is upon America. Where's Donald Trump's plans and the mask and medicine shortages? Elizabeth does. Where's Donald? Where is he with this? Why is he completely collapsing right now? He's having a mental breakdown. What's needed to starve off this Great Depression because of the coronavirus is a second New Deal. It's very clear that we need a national jobs program. We need an economic Bill of Rights to guarantee that all Americans have a living wage. We're going to see a second New Deal there, but the only difference between the 1930s and today is don't forget that we have a former Republican. Has she truly been changed? The fake progressive is here to keep the status quo. Warren, like FDR, has many, many plans, but today's politics are absolutely controlled by dark billionaire money groups. This Democratic Party is also far more to the right than the Democratic Party that existed in the days of Franklin Delano Roosevelt. But somebody out there is going to restore proper governance after the incompetent, narcissistic circus clown is out of the office. The guy who spends 7 hours watching cable TV, tweets for executive privilege for 4 hours, and then he tweets the rest of the night. That's a typical day of Donald Trump. But you know exactly the significance of Franklin being born on the 30th day and the need for a second New Deal. Franklin has gematria of 40. 2020 is a year numerology of 40. Donald Trump is out of office in a 41 year, 2021, because Donald Trump is a narcissist and he thinks he has all the answers. After the next Great Depression, we need a second Roosevelt. That is where Elizabeth is going to come into play. She's going to need someone who's going to be able to replicate FDR. The real FDR is Bernie, but the de facto president, FDR, is Warren, the fake progressive. Sanders has gematria of 26. Its virus has gematria of 89 and 26. What is the famous saying? I have a plan for that. And Barack Obama endorsed Elizabeth Warren's 3 plans to fight the coronavirus. How about the Democratic National Convention that was originally scheduled to be hosted at Wisconsin? The slogan, I have a plan for this. In Wisconsin, both have the same gematrias. Franklin Delano Roosevelt was the 44th governor of New York before he became president. He was a member of the New York Senate from the 26th district. That is the gematria of virus. That is the gematria of Sanders. We are referring to an Elizabeth Warren vice president. He even died on a date numerology of 26. He died at age 63. He was a progressive politician, the greatest president in American history. Progressive has gematria of 63. Senator Warren has gematria of 63. She would be the parallel to Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the president who would handle the next Great Depression in America's history. That's exactly what we're talking about in this video. A Corporate Accountability Act in today's billionaire-ruled political system. You can say that's really Roosevelt-esque. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, January the 30th, 31. It's Hoover that was the 31st president. Donald born in a 19-day. 1882. He helped lead the Great Depression. 1882, 19 year, the 19th Amendment, and Elizabeth Warren, as I've talked about all before. But of course, no president is going to be in office for 16 years, not even close. The next president of America is going to lead the next economic recovery from the coronavirus. Roosevelt entered office in the year 1933. It's Massachusetts that has gematria of 33, where Warren is from. It is Black Tuesday, October the 29th of 1929. That is a year numerology of 33. Not only is October the 29th of 1929 a 33 numerology, Elizabeth Ann Warren's birthday, June the 22nd of 1949, has a year numerology of 33. This is how you know that she is going to be the next president. This is how you know that the second New Deal is going to be on its way to America. How many years after the New Deal? That's a fantastic question. I can always look that up because there's still more analysis when we break down the second New Deal in America. Black Tuesday, October the 29th of 2020. Year numerology of 79 and 59, before the 59th election. Gematria of 79, Ukraine gematria 79, Democrat 79, Warren gematria 79. Greed having a gematria of 30, the greed of the stock market and the trillions of dollars that the Fed gave to Wall Street. Elizabeth Warren, first at the level of the federal government, 33 year 2013. June the 22nd even has a sequence of 28. FDR's initials, Warren's initials. And Black Tuesday has to be noted. This is 130 days if you include the end day. It's Washington that has gematria of 130. Would that be Warren's ticket to Washington is to lead America's economic recovery from the Great Depression? Back to Franklin Delano Roosevelt. In the meaning, really, of the year that he got elected. 1933 is a year numerology of 16. Donald Trump's the 16th Republican to become president. That's why Warren is going to be... Actually, Warren is the 16th president because 16th Democratic president. That's Elizabeth Warren, the 16th Democratic president. And it's Donald Trump, of course, that's president number 19. I already talked about the significance of that with the Women's Suffrage Tribute. Just how many years from the New Deal is going to be the second New Deal? That's a great question. The New Deal as Gematria 43. It's Elizabeth as Gematria 43. The coronation of Elizabeth. It is the crown that is Gematria of 43. Just take a look at the crown, or crown itself. Crown 73 and 28. Selection or selected as Gematria 73 and 28. And that's really where Biden's death is going to come into play. Is at the coronation of the first female president this is going to be a selection. And not directly elected through the primaries, but through the process of replacing a dead presidential nominee for President of the United States. Warren 1, Roosevelt, narcissist, bankrupt as Gematria of 131. Actually, bankruptcy as Gematria of 131. It's pretty clear that laissez-faire economics is going to take Keynesian economics to reverse the damage done by the billionaire class in the Republican Party, who have collapsed the economy in 2020 with a disastrous tax bill. It is going to take a lot of revisions. It's going to take a lot of reversing to replace the richest cabinet in the history of America, run by billionaires, and also the most inexperienced cabinet in the history of America. These are truly interesting times, to say the least. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. And let me just go to the 2020 stock market crash right now, because the stock market is all an illusion today. It does not reflect the true state of the economy. And they're not making this a secret at all. Just how much time is this to Black Tuesday? 36 weeks? The current nominee right now is Joe Biden. Delaware as Gematria, Delaware as Gematria 33. This is how this connects to FDR. Barack as Gematria 36. He was the last Democratic president. President after the Great Recession, 36 weeks later. A new president after the next Great Depression. A New Deal is going to happen. It's going to take a presidential candidate who's got many plans. Also, it's going to take one that is controlled and in the hands of the top 1%, which is definitely not Bernie Sanders. Which is why the choice, 2020, former Republican. Notice how the Gematria is woman. The same Gematria as Corona. A New Deal the second. It's already here. Parallels to history in the 20th century. Donald Trump and fellow tariff man Herbert Hoover. And Franklin Delano Roosevelt and Elizabeth Warren. These are really interesting scripted times in the history of America, which is completely run by the billionaire class, completely in the hands of the top 1%.